I'm a taxi driver. My passenger didn't have a destination, he just pointed at people, and they died. Then he told me what color of halo he saw on me. I'm writing this and my hands are shaking, and I don't know where or how to start. I'm not an internet guy or into posts. I'm a taxi driver just getting by, living day by day, and making a living isn't easy. But what happened to me? I don't know how to describe it. Something stranger than fiction, and more terrifying than any movie I've ever seen in my life. I'm telling this here because I honestly don't know why. I need to warn someone, maybe so someone will believe me, maybe so my conscience can rest a little before I don't know what might happen. I won't say my name or where I am now, because I'm scared. Truly scared. The story began a few days ago, maybe a week, maybe 10 days. I was bloody. It was an ordinary night like any other. Few customers, hot weather, and you're just struggling to make enough for gas in the car rental. I was parked in a somewhat deserted spot, waiting for any fare to break the border. It was nearing 1 in the morning. Suddenly, I saw someone waving at me from a distance. He looked a bit strange. Tall and thin, wearing ordinary clothes, but they looked like they weren't his. A bit loose on him, and his eyes were frighteningly empty. Like he was looking through you, not at you. I thought, come on, any fare will do. I stopped for him. He opened the door next to me and sat down. He didn't even return my greeting. He was quiet for a moment, and I waited for him to tell me where he wanted to go. Nothing. I looked at him in the rearview mirror, found him staring straight ahead, completely zoned out. I said to him, "Sir, where to?" He looked at me slowly, as if turning his neck required immense effort. His voice was low and strange, like someone who hadn't spoken in a long time. Drive. I was surprised. Drive where? I need a destination, boss. His eyes went back to staring straight ahead. Just drive. Anywhere. I thought to myself, this guy looks like he's high on something, or crazy. But still, money is money. And the customer looked like he'd paid. Even if he wasn't from around here or was lost. I decided to drive around a bit until he made up his mind. Or maybe he was waiting for a phone call or something. I turned on the wheel and drove. I entered a quiet side street. The car moved slowly, and silence filled the space. I'm used to the silence, but with this customer, the silence was heavy. Very heavy. I felt like there was a mountain sitting next to me, not a human being. Every now and then, I'd glance in the mirror and find him in the same state, staring ahead coldly, his eyes unblinking, like a statue. After about 10 minutes, while we were on another side street, a bit narrower and brighter than the last one, I suddenly saw him slowly raise his right hand and point at a man walking on the opposite sidewalk. The man looked completely ordinary, maybe heading home from work, walking with a bag in his hand. The passenger pointed at him with his index finger without uttering a word. And suddenly, the man on the sidewalk fell flat on his face, all at once, like a stage prop. The bag in his hand burst open, and its contents scattered on the ground. I slammed on the brakes out of shock. The car shuddered to a halt. I looked at the passenger in disbelief. What was that? That man fell. Did you see? He was completely unfazed. Didn't take his eyes off the fall. motionless. People started shouting and running towards the accident. I turned to the passenger, feeling the blood drain from my face. What did you do? What are you doing? My voice was loud this time, and I couldn't control it. He looked at me with the same coldness. That deadly coldness. He said one sentence. He chose. Chose what? What are you talking about? Do you have something to do with what's happening? He looked straight ahead again. Drive. This time, I was truly scared. Not just anxious or bewildered. This was real fear. This man wasn't a normal human being. There was something demonic about him. Coincidence doesn't repeat itself twice in exactly the same way. He points, and people fall or have terrible accidents. No, not fall. I saw the first one. I saw this driver. They looked dead. I thought about opening the door, throwing myself out of the car, and running. I thought about stopping the car, yelling, and drawing people's attention to me. But fear paralyzed me. Fear of the unknown. Fear of him. If he could do that to people on the street with a gesture, what would he do to me if I disobeyed his command? I kept driving, my hands trembling on the steering wheel. I didn't know where I was going. I entered streets I didn't recognize, lost like a ship without a sail. And he sat silently beside me. His silence now had a sound. A threatening sound. A sound that said every second passing with him in this car was bringing me closer to disaster. After a while, I don't know how long, maybe half an hour, maybe more, we were in a dimly lit, working-class neighborhood, houses packed tightly together. The streets barely wide enough for one car. There was an old woman walking alone on the side of the road, holding a cane and leaning on it. She looked so frail and poor. My heart clenched as I saw him begin to raise his hand again. I told myself no. Not her too. She's an old, poor woman. Before he could point, before I could think what to do, I yelled loudly while looking in the mirror. Watch out. Don't you do it. Not this woman. His hand stopped in midair for a moment. He looked at me. This time, I felt like there was a flicker. I don't know what. Maybe surprise. Maybe something else I couldn't decipher those 2 eyes. He asked in a low voice that terrified me, "Are you afraid for her? She's an old, poor woman. Have mercy. Why are you doing this? Who are you anyway?" I was speaking quickly, before making it hard to form coherent sentences. He kept looking at me for a bit. Then, he slowly lowered his hand, and went back to looking straight ahead. Drive. I felt myself breathing again, though with difficulty. The old woman continued on her way, oblivious to everything. We passed her. I kept driving, but this time, I kept circling the same area, not wanting to go far, as if trying to prevent him from finding a new prey. I kept driving around for about another hour. He was silent, and I kept glancing at him and at the street, my heart in my throat, until I got fed up, tired, and my fear reached its peak. I stopped the car suddenly in a dark, empty spot, turned off the engine, and turned my whole body towards him. Look, I'm not moving another step until I understand. Who are you? And what are you doing to these people? What's your story exactly? He remained silent for a few moments, staring ahead. I felt like my heart would stop from the tension. Then, he looked at me. But this time, his gaze was different. As if a piece of the mask he wore had been removed. I sensed a look of sadness. Or maybe exhaustion. I don't know. He said with a strange calmness, "I see." See what? I see what they've done. I see the mark on them. Mark? What mark is this? I started to feel like my head would explode from the questions and the horror. Every one of us has a mark. Like a halo. Its color tells what they've done in their life. Done good or done evil. The words weren't registering. Halos? Colors? This was crazy talk. What are you saying? Are you insane? I'm not insane, he peace for people. And there are gray halos, those who sinned and repented, or whose lives are happy. And there are black halos. When he said black, I felt his voice change. There was a tone of hatred, or perhaps disgust. He continued, these black halos belong to people who have truly harmed others. People who destroyed others' lives. People who stole, killed, oppressed. People who don't deserve to walk the earth among the good. I swallowed hard. And those people knew their halos were black. He nodded slowly. The darkest shades of black. People who did things you can't imagine. And you pointed out what happens to them. I asked the question no one answered, but meeting the whole thing. Their halo goes out, like a bolt burning out, and their soul leaves their body. He said it so simply, as if talking about the weather. I felt the world spin around me. This man wasn't just someone seeing strange things. He was judging people and carrying out the sentence himself. An angel of death walking on two legs? A devil? I didn't know. But what I was sure of was that he was dangerous. Very dangerous. So what about me? The words escaped me involuntarily. I don't know why I asked. Maybe morbid curiosity. Maybe terror. He looked at me again. This time, his eyes stayed focused on me for a long time. I felt like he was piercing me with his gaze. Like he was flipping through all the pages of my past life. I felt a coldness seep into my bones despite the heat outside. He repeated the word softly. Yes, me. What color halo do you see on me? I asked, instantly regretting every letter I uttered. A faint, but terrifying, smile touched his lips for the first time. It was the ugliest smile I had ever seen in my life. Your halo, he said, leaning slightly towards me, his voice dropping to a whisper. Your halo is blacker than night. Blacker than the devil's own heart. One of the worst halos I've ever seen in my life. In that instant, I lost control. All I remember is opening the car door and throwing myself out while it was still stopped. I ran as fast as I could, without looking back. I could feel his gaze on my back, feel his voice echoing in my ears. Blacker than night. I kept running and running until my legs couldn't carry me anymore. I ducked into unfamiliar streets and alleys until I found myself somewhere very far away. I took whatever public transport I could find and went to a distant place, a place where no one knows me. I left the car, left everything. I'm sitting now in a cheap hotel room. Why did he say that to me? Why is my halo, specifically, so black? There's something that happened a long time ago. Many years ago. I was still a reckless young man, needing money. I did something terrible. Something I regret every single day of my life. A crime. I was involved in it. A kidnapping a little girl. Things got out of control, and the girl died. And me and the others with me, we got rid of her. Threw her body somewhere no one would ever find her. Nobody knows about this except me and the two guys who were with me. And neither of them would talk. I've lived all these years with this secret, with this guilt. Trying to live normally, trying to forget. But it seems this guilt leaves a mark that can't be erased. A mark this man was able to see. Who knows? That man knows what I did. And when he told me that halo was blacker than night, he wasn't just threatening me. He was telling me my turn was coming. And he was going to cleanse the world of me too. I don't know what to do. Turn myself in? Would they believe me if I told them about the man with the halos? They'd call me crazy. And if I don't tell them, will I live the rest of my life in this terror? Waiting any moment to find him in front of me, pointing his finger, and my halo going out? Why did I write all this? Maybe to confess. Maybe so if something happens to me, someone will know the truth. The truth about what I did back then, and the truth about this terrifying man walking our streets, judging people. If any of you see a tall, thin man with empty eyes,
If this story haunted you, wait until you see what we found in the basement tapes. Tap the screen now to watch next. Subscribe, because the truth, it's still out there. Share this with someone who won't sleep tonight. And smash that like button, or they might come for you next.